Hey everybody, this is Wolf2 joining you for some Join Dota League Season 6. I'm joined by a co-caster today. I'll let her introduce herself. How's it going?
Pretty good. Hi, I'm Annie, aka Android, and I'm pretty new to casting, but I'm really looking forward to this game.
Well, we've got Be More Zen going up against the businessgaming.com. This is an America 2.2 or 2.1 in the Join Dota League Season 6, so we'll see how these guys do. It should be interesting. I imagine a lot of these guys probably play in NEL and different things like that from time to time. I recognize Bella. That's the only one name I recognize on Business Gaming. But so far we've got a Centaur band already and the Meepo coming out strong here. Centaur got buffed recently, and Meepo got some changes here where he's indirectly buffed. He's not as worth as much when you kill him.
Dyer's ban.
Yeah, I would have been excited to see the Centaur, as that Aghanim's upgrade seems really, really cool, but I guess it's best of them to ban it out so they don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, Slark again getting banned out. He got buffed up quite well with the some of the new items, like the Silver Edge is really good for him, as well as it just gives him something else to build into. So he can go like S and Y Shadow Blade, and then he can go Manta style Silver Edge, and like to one step further, and it just gives him more uses for those same two slots. I think he's going to be really strong. He's going to be banned out. We'll probably see an Enchantress pick up real quick here as well. She was
Interesting ban on the IO. I wouldn't have expected that unless they're. Are they worried about this team picking a tiny or another really beefy core that benefits from an IO?
They could be. It's one of those things where if you don't know who they're playing, if you don't know who you're playing against, it's one of those things you never know if they have a wisp player, and because you don't really need the +1 is whatever, but somebody who's really good at wisp can just win you a lane, win you the game potentially if you can surprise them with it. So it might just be a bit of a safety ban there. Also a little bit of a possibly respect ban as well. Visage banned or picked up first though for businessgaming.com, followed up by the Undying. You thinking a Drow strat coming out here?
I'm definitely thinking Drow. I think she's really, really great, especially with some of the new items coming out. So I think they could be looking to lane that and absolutely destroy a lane early game.
Yeah. One interesting thing though with the Undying is when they changed his Soul Rip. Before it used to apply for every creep round. It applied because it takes every creep around and applies X amount of damage, and so it used to apply it in a whole bunch of little numbers. Now it just applies it in one number. So Treant Protector and Templar Assassin are much better against Undying than they used to be before. He could instantly remove Living Armor or Refraction. Now, there's the Drow. Vengeful Spirit was picked up though. That was probably a good call. They probably would have gone for another blue lady there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Visage and Drow is such a good duo together. I don't think they would have needed the Vengeful Spirit on their side, but it's never gonna hurt.
Yeah, Venge is just a really strong support, and then her percentage-based aura stacks up really well with the percentage base from the Drow Ranger. Broodmother banned out as well though, and they're getting rid of a lot of strange heroes on businessgaming.com. A lot of really just frustrating heroes to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they just don't want to have to deal with a lane with a Slark, a Meepo, or a Broodmother, and they're trying to eliminate those possibilities. So it looks like they might not be too keen on the exact playstyle of Be More Zen, but they're just looking to make this a really straightforward Dota game with no rats, I think, is the biggest thing.
Yeah, you gotta squash those rats. The other thing too is with a Drow Visage opener, it's really hard to get some decent wave clear and force it into the next 3 picks. It'd be really hard to deep push the Broodmother. So I guess I can kind of understand why there, as well as Silence no longer affecting Invis at all anymore. Whereas before, I don't think it affected Broodmothers, but I know it affected Ricky, just because the way his passive works. So they have to worry about that. Ursa got quite a few buffs as well, and I've got the patch notes pulled up. So if they pick any of these heroes that got changed drastically, we can go through them. But we'll have to.
Yeah, that should be pretty helpful. I took a good number of glances at the patch notes, but I haven't really studied them in depth. I did play a couple games after 6.84 came out, and I was playing with the Ricky, and he seemed just that much stronger because it was really hard to make him come out of that invisibility.
Yeah, you can't use an Orchid on him. You can't gust him out of stealth. Like that was a really good one. Or Drow Ranger Silence as well. Disruptor was also very good. Any like AoE Silence was really good against him because if you saw him fade, you could guess, and it was not too bad at all. Windranger is going to get banned out. Final one. I guess the line was also banned out by Be More Zen, so getting rid of a lot of control and decent amount of damage. Storm Spirit picked up though. He got some nerfs. He doesn't get quite the vision he used to anymore.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen an Alchemist coming out. I would have thought that would be a first-round pick, but maybe neither of the teams has a lot of experience running him, and they don't want to try anything too snazzy with the new patch. So,
Yeah, I mean this is a best of 2 group stage match, so I mean this is the kind of game you wanna, if you're gonna try something funky, this is where you try it. But I can understand that as well. The other thing too is a lot of people still think he's really weak, just not because of like what he can do as far as his farming abilities and stuff like that, but just the hero itself. He doesn't bring a whole lot as far as like he can bring a decent stun if he has a blink dagger in his concoction, and then he can farm up very quickly, but in a man fight, he just gets shredded. And especially with this much physical damage coming out from the Drow and the Visage already, I think it would be a little bit risky. Business Gaming might go for it, but I don't think BMZ are going to want it.
okay.
Would be about my guess on that. Visage, here's the patch notes for him. Familiars have health now. Or sorry, now they take 4 hero attacks rather than having a set amount of health, so they're a lot stronger now, I would say. Just in general, because like some heroes, especially late game, they just get one shot by any hero. So
Yeah.
I think they're much better late game now. And then Gravekeeper's Cloak recharge. They buffed Gravekeeper's Cloak, 4-second cooldown on the recovery, and instead of 6 now. So just a little bit stronger there.
Yeah, I think another thing about the familiars now having a set number of hits it takes to bring them down is that their Visage is going to have more of an ability to get that stun off from the familiar than he would before. He's going to have that window of between the first hit and the 4th hit.
Yeah, he'll have it's just, you won't have to worry about them getting insta-gibbed by somebody. Lina is picked up, so they're breaking away from the blue strat here. A little bit unfortunate to see, but they've got Lina coming in hot and ready to go. She did take a bit of a nerf. She no longer gets the bonus range on Liguina Blade, but that was the only change. So I think she's still okay. And I wonder if we'll see that this run as a core Lina. Maybe look for I believe it's a Lotus Sphere is the name of the Magic Life Seal item that I'm thinking of with the cooldown reduction.
Yeah, I think Lina's definitely a reasonable pick for mid, especially if she's going against the Storm Spirit, who now no longer has crazy vision.
I apologize. Octarine Core is the one I was thinking of. So
Yeah.
that's the one with the reduced cooldown and stuff like that, and that affects ultis and everything alike. So maybe we might see some weird, like, not this game, but in the future, some like farming enigmas going for the 25% cooldown reduction on him, because that's huge on his ulti. It's not so much on Lina's. I mean, you know, you take off 25% of 50 seconds. Sure, that still makes it really short cooldown, but it's not as dramatic of a change.
Space Cow picked up for the businessgaming.com. I don't really see him in a lot of competitive play, but I really like him as a hero. I think it adds a lot to the ability to roam around the map and get pickoffs that they need to get to.
One other thing I think Imagine Business Gamer thinking is they can chase the Storm Spirit now. So as long as Storm Spirit can't zip away, because if he zips forever, he's going to be out of mana. So he's got to sit there and take the stun, and usually if you've got Charge of Darkness at level 2 or level 3 or higher, you can get off your Nether Strike afterwards. Maybe follow up with another Lucky Bash or something like that. But Storm Spirit zips too far, he'll be out of mana, and then there'll just be an angry cow beating on him. Final ban, Skywrath Mage coming out for Be More Zen. We got one more ban coming out from Business Gaming, and if we take a look at Be More Zen's lineup, it feels like they're just picking heroes. I mean, the Vengeful Spirit and the Viper, they synergize well, lots of physical damage, and they can chase and control well. Storm Spirit is fairly good, but I'm not sure what this Undying's going to do. I'm worried that there's just going to be too much long-range physical damage for him to really be that effective, and normally he can bully a lane out, but he's way better against strength cores. And I mean, I guess Spirit Breaker, but
I'm thinking if Undying's being put in a solo lane against the Vicious and the Drow, he's going to have the worst laning phase of his life right there, because he's not going to be able to get any farm or any harass off.
10 seconds to go.
And one thing he usually relies on is getting really low, but by the time he is really low, everyone else is dying to zombies as well. But Visage can snipe him off from quite a ways away, as well as Drow Ranger can take out the Tombstone very quick, and later the Familiars will be able to shred the Tombstone as well. So we'll have to see if he picks off. He's a kind of a pick that's gonna win it or lose it in the first 10 minutes as far as his game impact goes.
Mm-hmm. Interesting enough, last ban goes to Tinker, and I think that's because of the Axe change on him, because it's so strong. That laser that's going to like bounce to everyone refraction that's going to be crazy good, especially if the Radiant are planning to clump up and team fight. They really don't want that laser coming in and melting them all.
No, that definitely not. As well as he's just another pushing hero that's kind of hard to deal with. They have decent catch with the Spirit Breaker, but the thing is, Tinker late, he'll probably have a Hex or a Blink Dagger or something like that. But he's got a lot of ways to get away, and probably just something they don't want to deal with, constantly having to teleport back and forth, because they don't have a whole lot of initiation to go with the Space Cow. I'm imagining that's probably going to be their final pick, and I'm thinking it's. So maybe Safe Lane Drown Visage +1, and then a Spirit Breaker. I'd like to see like an Earthshaker or a Sand King come out for business gaming. I think they need somebody else to jump in and help initiate with the Spirit Breaker.
I like the idea of Sand King a lot because it gives them that single target stun with his Impale, I believe, and then also that AoE damage is going to be really valuable to them because at this point they have a lot of point-and-click heroes, but not a whole lot of AoE or CC damage.
Yeah, they'll have the Epicenter and the Burrow Strike to go along, follow up with the charge for a little bit of mass control. I mean, Lena does decent AoE, but her stun's hard to land on more than one person, whereas Sand King, you can sometimes get those nice three-man ravages, if you will. But lastly, for Be More Zen, they need
10 seconds to go.
I don't know what the hero is for them. They're gonna go with the Brew.
Brewmaster. I would not have guessed that if you gave me 20 guesses. So who's their mid hero now? Are they still gonna put Storm mid and Brewmaster off lane?
I think
I'm not sure.
Oh, they're gonna go. Okay, so they're gonna go Morphling instead. If this is a, this will probably be a support Morphling or an offlane Morphling. How are they gonna run this?
I would almost say Morphling is their hard farmer. Maybe a more. It could be Morphling mid and Alina support, honestly.
Definitely could be. Oh, I gotta turn off my one HUD, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. But it looks like we're underway. I'll go ahead and introduce the Radiant if you want to hit up the Dire afterwards.
Sounds great.
We've got, for the Radiant, Jing is playing the Visage. Quilly is going to be on the Morphling. Bella playing the Space Cow. We've got Fempo playing the Drow Ranger. And last but certainly not least, rocking the Arcana, we've got Z-Rock on the Lina.
Alright. Up top on the Dire, we have Bonk on the Storm Spirit, mid. We have Orange on the Brewmaster. We've got Fenrir, hopefully the real one, on the Viper. Striker OD on the Vengeful Spirit. And finally, we have lovely Uviposter on the Undying.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to run an aggressive tri-lane here, and I think that's probably their best bet. The Brew can solo a lane just fine. I'm curious to see if they're just going up on like an aggressive move through the top rune, secure that, and then move down, or what. But the Morphling seems to be heading up there as well. He got a ward, but he didn't buy them, so I think it's going to be a support. I think this is a support Spirit Breaker. The one ward was bought by Bella. Did they buy two at the beginning?
Yeah, because now they're individual, and it's a lot less of a burden on the support with their initial starting gold.
Yeah, so
there's some interesting strategy coming out on the map. Looks
like rocket ships.
Drawing their plans, yeah.
Rocket ships all over.
Now they just say, everyone go up mid and fight there.
Yeah, that's definitely what those were.
All right,
I don't know what you're talking about. But as they're heading up top, I still think I like the support Morphling better, because he can go for a Blink Dagger, blink behind them, Adaptive Strike for that really long duration stun, and it'll give them enough time to kill the Brewmaster. Even if he's got his evasion up, they'll have more than enough damage going his way, or magical damage early on to kill him. And then it's also really good lockdown for the Storm Spirit. This is a Lincoln's game and a half for him. There's so many single target things coming his way.
Seconds to go.
It looks like the Dire down bottom are going to drop an Observer Ward on this small camp, so they are going to be looking to block it early. And they are pretty deep into the Radiant jungle, but no one else is there to contest it, as all the Radiant heroes are up top.
The only thing you got to watch out for is this Storm Spirit. Because he's standing where he is, he won't see them until they're right here, at which point he's going to get charged. He won't have zip. They can follow up with the Lina stun.
I think that's the plan. He's an easy target right now, as he does get pinged out by the Lina. But he's running back to his tower. I think he might have figured out something's a little fishy.
Yeah, they didn't come from quite the right angle. They weren't able to get there in time, unfortunately. But they zone him out, and they do secure the top rune for. Since Lina takes it, I'm assuming it's going to be the mid Lina, and then it's going to be an aggressive tri-lane with the Visage Cow and the Drow, and then Quilly's going to solo the safe lane, I guess. He should be okay down here. It's kind of hard to get a Morphling. He's always got that waveform, and Vengeful Spirit stun is very easy to dodge, and Tombstone is not the easiest. Can't really lock him down with it either.
I mean, I think as great of an offlaner as Morphling can be, he's going to have a really tough time because these are just very harass-heavy heroes, and I don't think he's going to be able to get up to the lane long enough to get himself some valuable farm. So I think early game's going to be tough for him until the roams start coming out and he's able to go have a lane of his own. As we see now, Undying is just trading blows with him and not really fearing much.
Yeah, I figured he'd be able to soak some more XP than this, but if Undying's going to be playing this aggressively, he's going to have a tough time. Maybe he can sit up behind the creep wave for a little bit here. He still hasn't skilled anything yet, so he can always get away if he has to. But something else to note is he started with the mango.
I know, I was just about to say shout out to my new favorite item in the game, so... I
Mango
think
on
it's a
Wraith
bit
King.
expensive for what it offers, but I love it. I love it so much.
Mango's on Wraith King OP. That's the first game I played it. There was that little like 70-some meg patch, and we didn't realize that it was just like turning on the patch. So everybody in the game just picked normal heroes, and we're all like, wait, why is there new
same
items?
With me.
But there was a Wraith King that managed to get an Ags, and it was the most frustrating thing I've ever dealt with. We lost. It was like you could kill everybody, and then they just kept killing you. It was awful.
Yeah, I had a game recently where we just had an alchemist and we gave him position 1 farm, we just let him do whatever he wanted to, and he just gave us all eggs.
Well, on the bottom lane, they're going to be diving a little bit aggressively here. Quilly, he does have waveform, and now he's got his stat morph. Don't think they're going to be able to zone him out too hard, but he is getting some experience here. He's not having the easiest lane. Now he's trapped in by the Undying. He's going to have to be a little bit careful. They're going to be all good. But if we take a look at the CS, it's the Drow Ranger winning right now. Lina following up in the mid lane, doing very well up against the Storm Spirit. And then we've got Viper sitting up there as well. So Radiant getting a little bit better out of this, but then again, it's a large gap between those top 4 and everybody else.
2 Dire heroes are now getting blocked in under tower as Vengeful Spirit's going to take some harass from the Visage, and it looks like Vengeful Spirit might be the first casualty of the game.
Morphling able to get that first blood with the waveform, now trying to strength morph, not able to do it. Space Cow comes in, he needs a couple of hits, he's not going to be able to get them, and no bash to follow up. Visage, Soul Assumption is there, they're going to be able to pick him off. Viper now trying to turn it around onto Bella, thinking about it, not going to be able to, but it's now the Visage who's going to get turned on. One more attack coming out, should be enough, there it is. 2 kills going the way of the Radiant and the Dire each. We've got another TP coming in. Morphling, is he going to look to go? I think that's going to be enough to force the Viper back, as the Storm Spirit's going to be dropping very low in the mid lane, trading blows with the Lina. Lina's not level 6 though, can't finish him off, and has enough mana though. Storm Spirit's going to have to head back to the well.
Yeah, I think Morphling now has a brief window of time where he's able to get up to the lane and farm, but that's not going to last for long. I think he's going to need constant roam and constant support down there.
Bonk almost screwed up with the Courier Micro. Lina got 1 hit off on it, and it went down to 7 health. It was very close to going down. That was a little bit risky. I'm sure there's a little bit of panic there, but in the end, they're just going to be all right.
Up top, Drow seems to be doing absolutely fine in the solo lane against the Brewmaster.
Yeah, she should be able to zone him fairly well. She's level 4, holding a skill point for now. Probably deciding if she wants. She's going to go for that point in Gust. I think Gust is too good to not get a point in. 3-second silence on a 13-second cooldown. That's a very good skill point. And I mean, she can zone the Brewmaster pretty well right now. He's only got the 1
Down
point
mid, it
in
looks
baller.
like Spirit Breaker's going to be charging in on the Storm Spirit, but he might have regretted that. He is taking a lot of damage now and does take a Vengeful Spirit wave. And is he going to be going down to this? High Ground's going to help him out a little bit, but the zombie's still chasing him, and it looks like he will go down.
Visage is able to finish off the kill just barely with that Soul Assumption. He pays for it with his life, but again, that's the 2 supports going down for a mid Storm Spirit. I mean, advantage Storm Spirit, he was outlined for the kill, but Visage getting it I think is fine. It makes the trade okay. I don't think it's too big of a deal to worry about right now, as long as if they hadn't got the Storm Spirit, it'd be pretty devastating, but for now it's gonna just force him back a little bit, delay whatever item he wants to go for first. I'm also not sure what the item build is on Storm Spirit anymore. Used to be Orchid Rush, but now I'll have to kind of see if anyone wants to prioritize a different item.
Looks like Space Cow is going up top, probably to help out this Drow or see where the best place for him to chill out is, but it looks like Drow is really not having that much of a time. She hasn't gotten that low, and she's able to keep it up near the Dire's tower most of the time.
She's doing very well as far as CS goes. She's got 33 at 5 minutes, so definitely on par to get that, well, considered excellent 60 CS at 10 minutes, so we'll see. Might see
yeah, she does have a
little bit
completed
more.
Aquila, and it looks like she's going for tier 2 boots next.
I would imagine usually Treads is not bad. She might just be going straight for a Yasha as well. Is there anything on the courier? No.
Oop, down bottom, looks like Morphling's taking some heavy harass from the Viper, and it looks like Twilly might end up going down from this. He's morphing strength as hard as he can, but Undying is able to get off that last little click on him, and will get himself another kill. So he's sitting very comfortably at 3-1 and 2.
Mid lane, they're charging in though. They're going to look to go in the Storm Spirit. He's not level 6 yet. This is exactly when you gank. They're going to get the Vengeful Spirit, and they're going to have to back off now as Undying and TPing in. Tombstone is down. Bella should be able to get out just barely. He's going to be okay, and now the Undying. He might be trapped in a little bit of a hole here. A couple more right clicks going to come out. One more from the Lina. Oh, nice soul rip coming out for there. It's going to keep himself alive. And Lina throws out the Dragon Slave, but unable to find the kill.
Looks like Radiant are going to pick up this Invis rune up top. It is going to Lina as she has it bottled up, and that'll help her out with a nice rotation if she needs it.
And we'll see if she's able to use this for anything. Unfortunately, she won't be able to have enough mana just off the one bottle. She'll have to head back to the well and then go for it, but it looks like she's just going to use it up anyway. Maybe open up with a stun or something, but I don't think she's going to be able to make too much of a gank off that, unfortunately. And this is, you were right about the Morphling. He's not going for the stun build. He's going one position Morphling build anyway. Maybe not. He's not getting the farm he would normally want from that.
Yeah,
but,
I think that's a little bit of a mistake at this point. I think they need to adjust his build based on how he's going to be able to scale in the game, because he's not having the start he needs to pick up that really, really convincing core lineup build.
Yeah, and then he also won't have the stun, so he's going to be a waveform and then a damage soak for the first. Unless his farm picks up dramatically and they get some serious kills onto him, it's going to be probably 20-30 minutes before he's relevant. There is a cow coming down to the bottom lane, though, onto the Viper. We do have Visage moving in as well. Viper's actually going to be walking forward. He's going to get stunned up. They need another bash here, though. Doesn't look like they're going to get one. Visage is there. He's got a Grave Chill. They're looking to go in on the Morphling. And he's strength morphing. He should be okay. One more hit. They're going to be able to pick him off. Vengeful Spirit rotating down with the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit level 6 could zip forward. Not going to do it so far. Tombstone's going to go down. Now he zips forward looking for Jing. He's going to be able to get him one more right click, and he does. The Soul Rip, not enough damage to finish off Morphling. They're going to maybe dive the tower. Spirit Breaker with a nice charge away to the top lane. He's going to stun them. Morphling should be able to waveform away from this station. Undying might actually go down here. One more right click, and he is going to drop. Now the Morphling is going to be going down, though. 2 for 2 in the bottom lane. Overall, I don't think that's too bad. Looks like advantage for the Radiant.
I think advantage for the Radiant, but I think the important kills in that lane both went onto Bonk, and that's not something you want. You don't want to feed your Storm Spirit kills early on.
No, for sure. Again, he's got 1,000 gold. He hasn't spent any items on any sort of build-ups for either a Orchid or any of the newer items like that at all. So we'll have to wait and see what he wants to go for. This Drow Ranger, though, still just AFK free farming up here in the Radiant off lane. Gonna be able to finish off this tower. One more click, and he even gets the last hit for it as well. He's got 1,500 gold and his treads completed. Well, we'll see where he goes from there.
Yeah, I think, what would you say is the best item now? Would you go for a Yasha?
I still think a Yasha is really good on Drow. Like, if you get a Yasha and just a Morbid Mask, you can farm Ancients for days. You can jungle farm forever, and you also can fight very well. And then it builds up into a Manta style, which I don't think would be too bad. There's a couple of things that are decent to dodge, like the Vengeful Spirit stun. It can just cause confusion.
Undying rotating up might find this Visage right here, and it looks like he's going to have a little go at him, trading some right clicks, and Visage might be calling in for support here, although Storm Spirit is going to run in. Bonk chasing down Jing as far as he can. Mana is pretty high for the Storm Spirit, so he could zip if he'd like, but he does find the Drow as his companion, and Storm Spirit won't pursue on that.
Yeah, they didn't want to go in on the Drow side, not with the silence up, but they might have been able to make a play happen, but at the same time, it would have maybe cost a little more than they're willing to pay. Bottom lane, though, it's Morphling pushing in that tower, still with just a Wraith Band and some boots on him. Hasn't
Don't
used
forget
that
that mango.
Yeah, that value mango. Oh man, it's gonna be weird getting used to that. Mangoes are weird. Visage has one now too. They're multiplying. Oh god.
Starting an orchard up in the Radiant side.
But as I was saying before, I think Drow Ranger just going for a Yasha into an Manta style, or even just leave it as a casual Yasha until you pick up, start picking up like tier 3 items. Tier 4 items would not be bad at all. But we'll have to see what they want to go for. But it is going to be the Yasha, so he just needs another 30 gold for the recipe. Be able to clean off one of these. He's actually going to just stack it. That works out. Lina's still going for that Yule Scepter, though, even after the mana increase on it. She's one of the heroes that is still okay. I don't think we'll be seeing too much Shadow Fiend Yules, though. Doesn't really have the mana pool for it.
Yeah, I think it's so valuable on Lina because of the stun setup. You know, you use them up and you have that definitive window where you know you can get off a stun rather than having to count on them walking a certain way.
Yeah, and then the mana regen on it is okay, and her mana pool in general is big enough to support it. But there's just a lot of heroes that used to get it almost on default. They just don't have the mana to grab it anymore. Mid lane, what's she doing over there? She's kind of in a risky situation. They didn't walk around the corner, so they're not sure where she is. But Undying might loop down and find her. He is. Goes up the decay. Not gonna
She
let
might
you
be
go.
overstaying her welcome here.
Yeah, she gets the stun off, but the Viper Strike and the Magic Missile are going to be there. Wave Terror and an easy kill going their way. Now it's the Visage they're going to look for, and Dying's going to be driving quite heavily. He's got to be a little bit careful here. Doesn't want to take too many tower shots. There is a Soul Assumption up, and they're not going to go for it.
Yeah. I like the Undying's build. He is going pretty hard support at this point. He does have a smoke in his inventory and completed Arcane Boots, which is going to help him out a lot with his mana sustain.
Speaking of Undying, where did he TP into? He TP'd into the bottom lane, and the Morphling. Oh, the Visage Birds were there. They just shredded him. I clicked on him and didn't see where he went. He just evaporated. Now the Visage Birds, they're gonna go for a stun, and oh man, they're gonna bring him down. Storm Spirit going in as well. They're gonna bring down the Morphling. Shieldbreaker charges in though. Visage Birds are still there. Do they want to turn it around and bonk? They can do a fair bit of damage to him as well, but the birds are very low. You need a couple more right clicks. And what's the cooldown there? Stomp's just coming down. He's gonna look to go with the long range Nether Strike. He's gonna bring him down as well. Brewmaster, his split's about to end. Can they find him? He's gonna be kind of trapped in trees here. He's got no mana. Yule's up by the Lina, set up for the stun, and it's gonna land as well. Laguna Blade to finish him off. Nope, it's gonna be a Soul Assumption. Kill secured by the Visage.
All right, carry Visage. I like it. But really, great job by the Lina making sure that the Earth Spirit, the Brewmaster was put all in one place and the team could get to him. Really good Yules.
Yeah, and a very nice play from the Spirit Breaker, knowing that he could go in there and trusting his Visage player to micro properly. It was well done by Jing, and well microed indeed. I believe he got 2 kills there. It didn't show up on the, unfortunately, on the fight recap, but I believe that was 2 kills for the Visage. Yes, it was. He got the first kill onto the Undying, and then follow up on the Brewmaster.
All right, Viper picking up a pretty early point booster. You think he's going straight into Ags, or is he going for something pretty new, like the new orb thing coming out with the soul booster?
Oh. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Lina getting a double kill, though. We're both looking at Viper. Oh boy.
Lina taking some tower harass, but she should be able to bottle herself up nice and high.
Yeah, she'll be okay after a couple more uses of that, and they'll probably be able to get this tower as well. Drow Ranger, 3 seconds left on the Precision Aura, and that's when the damage is really going to come out. And we'll see. Yeah, they should. I imagine they'll pop that. They have, and they're going to look to take this tier 2 tower. As we were saying before, the Viper with the point booster, I'm not sure what he's going to want to go for. I imagine it's probably just an Ags rush, which Ags on Viper is really good, but at the same time, it's like there's a lot of other things that can do better. I mean, the only thing, the Octarine Core, it's only on magic damage, and Viper, his passive is physical damage. Like, sorry, his Nether Toxin is physical damage. Viper Strike really doesn't do all that much, so I don't think that's going to be what he wants. It's probably just going for the Ags.
Yeah, I agree. I want to give a special shout out to these Visage Birds that have been putting in so much work. They helped secure like half the kills on the Radiant team at this point.
The birds are doing work. It's like a whole other hero, especially when played with the Drow, so... Well,
absolutely. With that Precision Aura, they are going to do a lot of damage, and they're going to do it well. And birds secure another tower, so Jing doing very well controlling his birds and putting them where they need to be to have the biggest impact in the game possible.
We'll see how quickly he can get a level 11 here, get that extra set, get the little bit of armor on them, as well as doubling their damage to start off with. As we're going to see the Radiant rotate through onto the Storm Spirit, maybe they can find him with a setup. And are they going to be able to get the Yules off? They do. Where's the setup from the Lina? She's got to time this really well. She does. There's the Laguna Blade to follow up, and she secures that kill. Oh, they see the Viper not in time, though. He didn't stop to Nether Strike. A little bit unfortunate there, but might have been able to get the Viper.
Yeah, I mean, I think although the Viper does get away, it is securing a completely open space for the Radiant team. They brought in 4 heroes, and now they have room to push. There's no one that's going to come and stop them on the dire side.
I think this is going to be another tower going down. Actually, in the mid lane, we're going to see Drow Ranger just man up against the zombies. She's not afraid. The Visage Birds were there, but she didn't even need them. She's got an Ogre Club in her inventory. She might be going for an... Yes, she is going for an early BKB, which I think that's fine as well. It prevents a lot of the stuff coming out from the Storm Spirit, as well as the stuns and other negative effects coming out from the Brewmaster and the Venge. It doesn't stop the swap, obviously, but will help out against a lot of the extra damage.
Another tower going down for the Radiant team. This game might be getting a little bit out of control as the net XP is over 4,000 in favor of TBG's.
And what's the net worth at? The net worth is over 10k in their favor as well. So I probably look for to take a Roshan, take this tier 2, then go do Roshan, then look to push high ground maybe. The thing too is it's only 16 minutes in and we're already looking at 8,000 gold on the Drow Ranger. Very, very farmed. And unfortunately, the highest farmed on the Dire is 5,700 on that Viper, who, well, we've seen him go down pretty quick a couple times. He's actually gone back for a headdress. Oh, the Venge, she's going to drop very quickly to the birds, doing a lot of damage. Stun's going to land the split. Oh, no, comes off just in time. Now Morphling, he's going to be a little bit of trouble. He's Strength Morphling, going to get pulled back as well. Can he get the waveform off? He should be able to. He is going to waveform to the low ground. He pops his magic wand and heals up as well. He's still going to be in a little bit of trouble. I think he's going to go down here. Yes, he does. A charge back through, though. It's going to get canceled by a Yule Scepter. Nice Gust and Laguna Blade coming out to finish off the Viper. Now they're looking for the Undying. Drow Ranger doing a lot of damage to him as well. He's going to be dropping. On the backside still, though, Bella sitting there on the Spirit Breaker, trying to get off from this strike. He does. Stuns up the Brewmaster a little bit more, and they bring down the Storm Spirit. Now looking for Orange. Do they have enough? So they're going to get one slow off. They should be able to get the other. She's actually going to charge again. Look for the re-engage right into the stun. Now it's Vengeful Spirit. She's going to be coming back into the fight, and that's actually the second time she's died in this engagement.
What a really well played game by the Radiant so far. I thought the Spirit Breaker would have wanted to just run back to base and get away, but he does decide to turn in after an Earth Charge and gets his team another 2 kills, and I think that's really, really important. They've been playing so cohesively at this point, and they really know each other's strengths and weaknesses as a team.
Yeah, they should be able to break high ground here pretty easily. This tower is going to drop very quickly, and then the Rax is going to drop even faster after. The only problem is this, they're going to be diving a little bit here. They're going to charge in, they're going to bring down the Undying very quickly. They got to get rid of that Tombstone. One more attack from the Drow Ranger is going to finish it off. They get a slow up onto the Viper. Spirit Breaker is going to go look for a bash. Instead, he's going to get stunned up. Now Bella, a little bit deep behind enemy lines. He's going to swamp further, and he does go down. I think maybe if they should have just ignored the Undying, gone for the tower there, but in the end, it's going to be alright.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say even with that Spirit Breaker death and that little overcommitment there, Radiant are still very, very heavily in charge of this game, as they do have all the map control in the world. So there's lots of wards coming up, especially in the Dire Secret Shop. They see this storm coming through. What do you think the Dire need to do to get back in this game and to show that they're not quite dead?
They need to try and find a couple pickoffs, whether that's onto... Because if they find the Visage out by himself... actually, the Visage sitting at 1100 health. He might be a little bit too tanky. Honestly, if they can find heroes... I guess the Visage is the weakest squishiest target, but that's unfortunate. They need to just try and find solo picks on either the Drow Ranger, which is very hard now that she's got a BKB. But they need... That's the only way they can do it, is just try and turtle as best they can. When the high ground gets pushed, just try and react as well. Secure a kill. Even if it's just like go all in on 1 or 2, then you can try and repel them back and delay the game, force the pushback. But the problem is they don't clear the waves very well.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
I think the Radiant should go in for a Roche attempt at this point.
I
don't see there's any reason why not to.
They're going to actually be charging the Viper. Laguna Blade comes out, does a lot of damage. Viper's going to be able to make it away, but they're just going to take out the Vengeance still. Never mind, Nether Strike from Bella onto the Viper. One more bash is going to be there, and they get him down. A double kill going the way of Z-Rock on that Lina. Now they should be able to clear out this mid-rack. No buybacks on either hero that's dead. And it's at this point that Storm Spirit should just be top, like split pushing, trying to get that tier 1. They shouldn't be trying to defend this. They should just be trying to get as much as they can out. Oh, Viper
Is
looks
this
like
the last hurrah
over.
for the Team BMZ?
I think it might be, unfortunately. Tombstone's going to be dropping very quick. He tries to heal it up, but it's not going to be enough. They're losing their rack very quickly. They can't really engage. They have no way to get in there, and they just do too much damage. They're going to back off now. And drop the birds as well. And I think back off, take Roche, like you said, wouldn't be a bad thing at all. Actually, they're going to look to go in. Unfortunately, Light Strike Ray does miss. Stormtrooper zips in, does get a pull off. We do see the Adaptive Strike onto Bonk. He's going to drop down in the midst of it. Now they're looking to go for the Viper. Maybe not. No, it's going to be the Brewmaster. Silenced up and brought down by a Light Strike. A couple clicks from the Drow, and he goes down. Swap in from the Vengeful Spirit onto Bella. Not going to be enough. Now they take down on the backside the Viper again. Oh man, 4 dead, and I think this is going to be a very quick GG coming out in favor of TBG.
Jing and Frempo and the Drow and the Visage have just been an unstoppable combination as they are sitting on a good amount of their team's kills and assists. And I think it's just that combination works so well together, and I almost say next game definitely respect Van the Visage, as he's put in so much work into helping the Radiant get ahead, even when they had a really crappy lane down bottom.
One thing I'd like to mention, just kind of on a side note, is Spiritbreaker bought a Vlad's offering, which is now affects all the ranged heroes with lifesteal. 10% only, but still, it's a free 10% lifesteal on your everybody now, and 15 on himself. So it's just a little bit of extra value there. It also gives the bonus percentage-based damage, 15% damage to everybody. So looks like they're gonna finally do the big boy in the pit.
Another shout out to Morphling and Visage, who both still have their mangoes from starting items, and that's why they're winning. I'm calling it right now. 6.84 mangoes are the key to victory.
Mango's OP, too strong. Please nerf.
Yep. Lina takes up the Aegis, and that's going to help her out a lot because she's been doing a lot of the casting and button clicking in the fights, and it's going to help her out a lot to come back to life, even if she overcommits just a little bit.
Yeah, so the Vengeful Spirit now has to be very careful, and there's not a whole lot of people you can swap. I mean, you can swap the Drow, but she's just going to BKB, or if you swap her while BKB, they have nothing else to hold her in place. She can just run out. She's fairly quick with the Sage and Miyasha, as well as she can always gust everybody else, and they can have the Spirit Breaker charging in, and I really like the Morphling in this. He's kind of gone for a weird build. He's maxed his QWE, no points in replicate, and he's sitting at about 50 split, so he's getting a decently long stun and a little bit of damage there with the adaptive strike. It's kind of a strange build, but he can shift either way really quickly.
Alright, interesting. On the net worth chart, all 5 Radiant are above all 5 Dire, so I think that's how you know the game might be almost over. I really don't see how the Dire are going to be able to come back from this unless they wipe the Radiant team like 6 times.
Well, we're going to see them looking to go in. The Drow Ranger pumps the BKB, dodging all of the stuns and stuff. Now it's going to be Xerox getting focused down, but she's the one with the Aegis. They're going to bring her down. Undying on the backside, getting fairly low. He pumps the Mechanism as well as the Soul Rift. They haven't brought anybody down yet, but they get rid of the Tombstone. Now they're going to be coming out. It's going to end, well, not quite. Doesn't end the Vengeful Spirit, but the Bruise Split does come down. Now it's going to be the Viper. He's going to be going down, and I think they should be able to pick off 1 or 2 more. Waypoint forward. They get the Vengeful Spirit. Now the Storm Spirit zips in, gets brought down by Frambo, and now a deep charge going into the enemy base.
There's the GG. I think Radiant took such an early control of the game, and there really wasn't much the Dire could do. They were kind of suffocating in their base, and it paid off for the Radiant team.
And GG, well played indeed, going towards TBG. They take this first game in a very convincing fashion. Very quick game coming up for them. I believe that was only like 23 minutes. We'll see here in a moment. You can take a look at the stats board and just take a moment to review the game.
Yeah, I think that's one of the dangers of leaving the Drow to free farm for the first 10 or so minutes of the game. She just got way too big and was able to pick off the Dire heroes over and over again.
And she was never killed the entire game. She 5-0-5 on her. Fantastic performance. 8-1-11 on the Lina as well. Very good showings from those 2 main cores. The damage dealers, if you will. I mean, Visage just kill secured 11-3 and 10, but in the end, it's kind of a bit of a stomp from the businessgaming.com. We'll see if maybe BMZ just, new patch, jitters, not sure how to play things or the builds to go, but I'm sure we'll see some interesting bans coming out in the next game.
Yeah, I feel bad for BMZ in that game. They had almost no big items up. Even the Storm, who had